when you were making your travel arrangements for this holiday, did you book online?
Yeah, yeah. And the site was called Voyage Privé. And after we booked our tickets on edreams.com.
And how did you make your travel arrangements? Online, offline?
Travel agency.
You booked with a travel agency. You didn't use online?
No, we researched online, so that we researched the different itineraries with Trafalgar Tours, and then we made our selection with American Express Vacations.
How did you make your travel arrangements? Did you book online or did you use a travel agency?
Pardon?
Did you use internet to book your flights and to book your hotels?
Hotel.
Did you book online?
Agency.
Why did you choose Italy as your travel destination?
My husband had never been here before.
Okay.
That's why.
And how did you book your holiday? Online or offline?
I think it was online, through British Airways package deal,
Any other apps?
Well, the Booking.com app, because it was an online institution, we booked the flight, the hotel.
Bene, per il prossimo panel, come vi ho detto, cercavamo di avere una visione riguardo al mondo delle OTA anche da parte di grandi compagnie alberghiere e privati. Per le grandi compagnie alberghiere abbiamo scelto, e siamo felici che sia qui con noi, Jean-Luc Chrétien, che è il Vice President esecutivo per la Distribution and Loyalty del gruppo Accor. After the speech of Jean-Luc, Philip Wolf will conduct a brief interview about that. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Giancarlo. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here. So Giancarlo has asked me to share with you the views that us at Accor we have on the changes of the hotel industry and especially the rise of digital and of course the growing influence of online distributors. So in the next few minutes I will try to share with you how we analyze these changes and how we try modestly to adapt to them and change the way we do business as hoteliers in front of all these challenges. I must say, first of all, that we are not competing with online travel agencies. We are working with them. They are commercial partners. But as you will see in my presentation, they are partners that we must understand, that must also handle with care. So I will not surprise you that this is a new world for hotel business. Started in the hotel business and in the travel industry in 1984, and in the last 8 years I've seen more changes than in the 22 previous years of my career. It's really now the digital is changing the way hoteliers must handle their business and the way they see their role inside of a travel chain. And our industry is already digital. With the rise of internet, consumers' behaviors have changed, and of course we are already digital and we are facing, I would say, 3 revolutions. The first one is a revolution in consumer behavior, the second one is a revolution in distribution, and the third one is, of course, a revolution in technology. The rise of internet and the growing influence of the use of internet, and you've seen that in the slide before, now that more than 80% are using the web to research for their travel needs, and close to 60% of them overall are using the web now to book all or parts of their travel arrangements, is of course changing the things, and consumer behaviors have changed a lot. First of all, consumers now are always connected. Just at looking at you in the audience, a lot of you are already, and still while they are listening to me, checking or answering their messages on their smartphones. It's the same for consumers. They always are connected, and they always want to have access to information. So that changes a lot the way, first of all, we do have to provide services in our hotels. I remember a long time ago when phone companies were coming to install relays in the hotels and sell internet access cards. Now Wi-Fi is almost as important than television, is more important than a television or a minibar in the room, and as important as a bed. So it's changing the way we do services inside the hotels, but it's also changing the way we communicate with them. They are more and more autonomous, means that they have access to a wide range of information directly, and they tend to distrust more and more what suppliers say. They tend to revert more to peers and to, for comparing or accessing information. This is something also that we need to embrace and we need to take into consideration. We are moving also from B2B and B2C traditionally, the way of doing business, to B2B2C, but also now to C2C, consumer to consumer trends. And with the like of Uber or Airbnb, for instance, are showing different ways for consumers to behave in their purchasing patterns. So it's not for us to complain about that, it's how do we understand that, embrace and adapt to these changes. Another thing which is important is, and this has been highlighted by the previous panel, is we now must be fluid and relevant. A lot of times the term relevant personalization have been used. Apple and then Amazon have set the pace. Now consumers tend to disregard or to dislike everything which is not efficient and intuitive in usage. So therefore, the way we build our applications, the way we build our websites, but also the way we build our services inside the hotels have to compare to that measurement from the consumers. And also they want relevant and personal information more and more. So as the previous people said before me, the use of data and the personalization of data is becoming critical. In terms of technology, it's a very big challenge for our industry because traditionally, the hotel business was not a technology-driven business. And we had to adapt because OTAs, they embraced that very early on, and a lot of players now embraced that very early on and adapted and built their whole business model around the technology. And now, as hoteliers, we have to catch up with that, and we have to invest a lot behind this. First of all, connectivity is a must. Because they are always connected, they want to have instant access to information, and the capacity that an hotel has to push its rates and its availability instantly to resellers and consumers become very important, and therefore we need to have hotel systems, PMSs, connected to third party or to distribution systems. That is becoming critical and makes the difference between gaining or losing on opportunities, gaining or mastering or losing control of your destiny. The second thing is, of course, mobile rules now. The adoption ratio of smartphones is definitely growing very, very strongly. There are now some markets, especially in Asia, where most of the business now is done through smartphones, and is growing fast, outpacing the growth of the PCs and the web 10 years ago. And therefore, everything has to be conceived around these applications. Development agility and capacity to time to market very quickly is becoming a big challenge. If you take a personal example, you have barely mastered the features on your iPhone 5, but Apple is already launching the iPhone 6, and therefore things are moving very, very fast, and it's the same for hotel and distribution technology. We had to change at Accor the way we were doing business. Before, all our investment plans were built around renovation of hotels, renovation of lobbies, renovation of rooms. Now, the biggest budget that we have now in terms of investment on a yearly basis is behind our technology platform. And finally, we were talking in the past in traditional marketing of segments and there were easy segments to analyze, you know, business clients, leisure clients, families, groups, individuals. Now, almost every consumer is a segment by itself. Again, big data and the capacity that we have to analyze the cycles, the way the people are doing behavior patterns in terms of purchasing, as well as understanding what they plan to do and being able to anticipate the cycles are becoming critical. First of all, to be relevant, but also to be efficient against the acquisition strategies with search engines and meta search engines. Finally, and this is a big topic of the day today, but also right now in the industry across all markets in Europe, is the situation of hoteliers versus online distributors. But before talking about online agencies, I would say that the first big revolutions that we have in our business is Google. Google is everywhere. Google is getting more and more influential in the capacity that we have to access consumers. Google is a tremendous opportunity. It has developed tremendous services to help consumers to access information or to access services. So it's an opportunity for us. On the other hand, it's also mind-boggling and kind of threatening or a threat in the sense that they tend to be in the middle of between us and the consumers more and more. And also what is a concern for us is that the Google tools are great, Google Maps, Google Places, but they have no match for any other supplier, so they tend to be the only supplier that we have to deal with, and that is something that we have to take into consideration. The second one has been the rise, of course, of community-oriented informations with TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor is a big partner for Accor, and we work very well with them, and it's now quite a must, and I must say, it's something also that we need to embrace. We need also to see how we can manage this and take advantage of this without being too dependent. And I must say, on a daily basis, our hoteliers are checking their TripAdvisor ratings as much as they're checking their occupancy ratio. Another trend which is very important and is significantly changing the way we do business right now is the rise of what we call comparators, what now we call meta search engines, Trivago, Kayak, and so on. For me, they are again, and for us, they are an opportunity. They are great in being able to access more consumers and driving traffic on our websites, but they are also changing, and they might also grow in influence and become not necessarily such good friends in the future. And finally, the topic of the day, and what is the topic of a lot of forums across Europe in the hotel business, is the online travel agencies' dominance and the role that they play now in the distribution of hotels. So let's have a look at some of these elements. Of course, the question is, are they a blessing or a curse? Are they our friends or enemies? Are they frenemies, as some people say? I would say no, they are neither of them. It's never black and white. But in order to give ourselves the possibility to really assess that, let's look at what they bring and what they create as opportunities. On the positive side, we must say they are definitely a revenue driver. They bring occupancy points, they bring more revenue, and they are a terrific way of accessing and creating business from consumers who are using the web. And they were very, very helpful in the early days to get these web consumers when hoteliers were not so already equipped and organized to get that business. And therefore, they are also a tremendous web marketing tool. They help hoteliers to access this clientele and to access the web market, the web users market. And by the way, this is how Booking.com sells itself to hoteliers. They say, I'm not a distributor, I'm not an agent for you, I'm your web marketing tool. You don't have to spend on the web, I will do that for you. This is true. On the other hand, at one point, and we will see that, one must be cautious that they don't take all the business that you were usually doing before without their support. They also are a great tool to reach markets, especially long-haul markets, and they are more efficient and it's easier to get them than in the past when we were using tour operators with catalogs, with long lead negotiations in rates and difficulty to access the markets. Now they can help us access very easily emerging or faraway markets. At Accor, we are very, very happy to work with Expedia and to develop a North American market. As we don't have hotels there, we have no presence, and therefore Expedia or Orbitz are very useful for us to access and to get this market for our hotels. And they're also useful because usually they tend to bring long lead business, people who are booking far in advance and are looking for their travel arrangements and their hotels with long lead times, and therefore it's a good way to build a basis of occupancy for the hotels long in advance, and it's something that sometimes and that is more difficult for hoteliers to do by themselves. On the flip side, if we look at the other thing, clearly the risk, and it already exists and it's already the case, and we need to be careful about that, is cannibalization of business. When the web was only 25% of people using the web to book, they were bringing incremental business. Now that 80% are using the web and 60% are booking on the web, it starts to become a more mainstream way of booking hotels, and therefore the frontier between incremental business and cannibalization is a big risk, and definitely sometimes they do tend to replace or take over some of the business that we could have naturally, especially when they buy your brand and they use your hotel name or your brand name to compete on the search engines, and therefore they are deriving direct traffic or natural traffic that you could have, and they are selling this traffic back to you. They also tend to capture customers from the hotels and to try to, and this is the big battle today between, I would say, onliners and hoteliers, is where is the customer preference? Is the customer going to compare on the web and then access directly hotel sites, or is he going to use and systematically become a booking customer who is going to search for any kind of hotels or any kind of travel accommodations inside an OTA, whether it is Booking, HRS, Expedia, or whatever. So the question of who now is going to have brand preference is becoming very important for us. Of course, they also have, and that's not that's well known, they also have inside their contracts sometimes very abusive clauses that we need to fight. These clauses, for instance, when they impose on you last room availability, or when they impose on you that all OTAs should be treated equally and that you therefore cannot make them compete against each other, especially on commission levels, is becoming an issue, as well as the capacity for them to be able to buy and to use your hotel name because it makes their search more efficient. They get more conversion out of using hotel names than generic terms, and therefore it makes their model more palatable, and they can send business to you that you would have had otherwise. We'll come back to this. And of course, ongoing rising their cost. Commission levels are increasing year after year. They can say the contrary, but it's not going to stop. And we know that there is a concentration factor of all the OTAs. They are buying each other, they are getting bigger and bigger. And also, the nature of their business makes it necessary for them to really increase their revenue to be able to sustain this model and to sustain their capacity to drive business. It's no secret that Booking.com is spending over $1 billion in search with Google, that Expedia is spending $500 million a year on Google, that Expedia is spending $600 million in technology on a yearly basis. They need to finance that. Therefore, they need to have more rooms to sell, and they need to increase their revenue, and commission will be definitely a way to do that. So, they are not, for us, a blessing or a curse. They are an opportunity, as long as we use them as opportunities. I always compare that with my hoteliers. Using OTAs is like using, I would say, performance-enhancing drugs. At one moment, it helps your performance. It can help you cure some sickness, can help fix a problem of occupancy. The problem is like any medicine, if you take too much of it, it can make you sick, and therefore we need to be very careful. So what are the challenges for us in dealing with these guys? The first one is the customer journey. We talked about, I think some people talked about that before me. It's critical. This is where they built their dominance. by capturing a lot of the stages of a customer journey where the hotels were not present and which are now critical in the way customers are buying online. And we need to regain our capacity to defend ourselves by mastering this journey. The second one is, of course, being able to adapt quickly and evolve with technologies. Of course, raising our expertise and creating new jobs and new opportunities. The marketing people of today are totally different from the marketing people of yesterday. The techniques of acquisition to create traffic, as well as the technique to master the services inside an hotels are different. So the skills of the teams are really important. The skills that we develop with our hotel managers are becoming critical for them to be able to embrace these changes. And of course, managed by contribution, that's more like revenue management. It's not simply a question of average room rate or average daily rate. It's also a question of how much, at the end of the day, ends up into the results and the P&L of the hotel. So if we look at the customer journey, before, the hotel was only concerned by the stay, when the customer is inside the hotel, when the guest is at the hotel, and to a certain extent to the reservation process. But now, of course, this journey is totally different, and you have all the stages, and they are used by everyone in the industry now, from dream to return, before and after the stay. And of course, this is where we need to be present as hoteliers, where some of these stages now have been captured, and some of the digital players have now really succeeded in capturing part of this business. If you take Select, for instance, Trivago, but also TripAdvisor are very strongly, heavily present in there. We need to use them, but we need also to have our own way of managing the stage and being present and efficient at this level. Dream is also something where Expedia and some of our onliners are playing on this, and we need to be present, and we must not leave this stage solely to these players. Prepare the stay as well as share and return. And it's critical to be part of this stage. One of the key elements also that hoteliers must be aware of is that right now we manage the stay, but this stay has to evolve because customers using smartphones, using their tools, want to have an experience in the hotel which is more and more efficient, fluid and relevant, as I said, and therefore we need to really work on the way we deliver our services, and it's not the same way as before, and we need to prepare for this, but also we need to defend this territory. At the Focusrite conference 3 weeks ago, a lot of the onliners have already announced that they want to be present now in different stages, not simply in the book process or in the select process, but they want also to start selling services. When booking acquires OpenTable is not simply to provide services to restaurants, is to be able to enter into hotels and start selling food and beverage services from the hoteliers that are already on its platform. When Expedia announces that they want to develop services in each check-in and in each check-out, disregarding the type of technology that is present at the hotel, it's become a worry. When Hotel Tonight presents his plan for a future app where the customer will not only select and book the hotel with Hotel Tonight, but will be also able to take advantage of services inside the hotel, at the arrival or even in the room, that becomes a worry, meaning that they are going to preempt and create customer preference by even preempting the hotel services. So a few elements that are not necessarily the common wisdom of industry and that we share at Accor. The first one is rate parity is necessary. I won't elaborate on that because I know there is a panel after that. I know it's a big debate. I know we have a different position between smaller hoteliers and big hotel groups, but believe me, it's absolutely necessary. There are lots of good reasons, and a lot of good reasons also for consumers to protect rate parity. It's not rate parity which is a problem, it's parity of availability as well as parity of offers, which are a problem. The battle for hoteliers is not lost. We cannot and we must, and we have a capacity to regain and to maintain our share and make sure that these players are complementary to our business and not replacing and cannibalizing the total revenue that we generate on the web. Of course, OTA dominance will continue to further grow, not only because they are growing by themselves, but also because new intermediaries will come and pressure will also increase from all these new players. And of course, brands, I'm preaching for my own chapel, brands are not so expensive and are a way also of protecting, themselves for hoteliers. So a few comments on what was this, and I think a lot of the presentations will be around this, so I won't elaborate on that, but some of the key elements for us. As an hotelier, what we must do, we must invest in our clients. Not simply invest in the service and the quality of service we do, but invest in the knowledge, invest in the understanding of his clients, and invest in the ongoing relationship that we have with them. Again, I refer to the presentations before. A lot of the things which have been said are really important. The knowledge and the capacity that we have to use this information to establish the relationship with customers is becoming critical. Invest in your e-reputation. It's very important, and we are developing that across all our hotels. We have trained also all our managers. It's really important, and it's a way to start to emerge and be really present at the dream and at the compare stage, a select stage. Invest in your content. It's critical to have good pictures, of course, but it's critical now to have videos in order to exist on the web. YouTube, Pinterest are really critical tools for the hoteliers to emerge. They are not so expensive when you consider the capacity that they will have to really drive and continue to drive direct traffic to you. Invest in education, invest in training for yourself, for your staff, for expertise. There are lots of digital schools now. There are lots of students around. There are probably some of them in this room. We started at Accor by hiring a lot of students in our e-commerce teams, and they are now have executive positions in our organizations, and they are really important to help also understand and adapt to all these changes in terms of marketing. Protect your name. Get your name protected on Google. You make Google richer, but believe me, it's not so expensive, and it's critical to keep the traffic to your website. And finally, diversify your channels. Don't stay only dependent on web. Sales, traditional sales are still existing, and the good old job of canvassing your primary zone is still very important, as well as there are other ways also of getting business, which can also help on seasonality and be less dependent on third parties. This is a page of advertising for my group, sorry. But brands are not so expensive when you consider some of the features. First of all, customers remain the hotel customers, which is not the case with onliners. We provide also, and hoteliers have a capacity inside the group to get revenue management and pricing tools, which are becoming critical now to drive and to master your business. And finally, inside our groups, because of our leverage, we very often offer much better OTA conditions and commission levels through our preferred agreements than you can have as a single hotelier. Their influence will further increase. As I said, they are expanding. Expedia CEO said this is a $1 trillion industry. We welcome newcomers into this, so they view us more as a business and revenue than simply partners, but okay, I'm okay with that. But there are new players coming in. TripAdvisor is now providing instant booking. Good or bad, that's something that we need to challenge. Amazon has announced that they are moving into the hotel business, Alibaba in China, etc. So there will be, and expect more players to come, and they are just not necessarily bringing more business, but at least stealing some of our direct business and creating commissions and eating on our margins, so we need to be really careful about that. So tomorrow, what do? Do we unplug? No, that's not what we want to do. We want to re-establish the balance between the power that we have and the capacity that we have as hoteliers to drive business to our hotels and not become simply a commodity and be chained to distributors to rely solely on them to get our business. So what can hotels groups do? We are doing a lot of what I said before. We are investing behind customer data. We are investing behind customer service. We are investing behind technology. And we are trying to really continue to establish a balanced relationships with online travel agencies. And to finish, I will show you a short movie that summarizes everything that Accor does in order to survive on the online world. Grazie.
Ciao! Sì, sto parlando proprio a te. Sei interessato dal business alberghiero, vero? E ho la sensazione che stai cercando di investire in un hotel o forse anche in più di uno. Ho ragione? Certo che sì. Tuttavia, non sei abbastanza sicuro della direzione in cui sta andando il mercato alberghiero. In effetti, la tua è una preoccupazione del tutto legittima. È difficile capacitarsi in un'industria in cui ci sono sempre più intermediari. I brand sono oscurati da agenzie di viaggio online e la commissione del mediatore è sempre più elevata. La tecnologia sembra prevalere sul servizio. I costi vanno alle stelle e i margini si riducono. Senza parlare del fatto che vendere è diventato molto complesso, con nuovi comportamenti da parte dei clienti, politiche tariffarie complicate, continui investimenti nelle tecnologie e via dicendo. Quindi stai probabilmente pensando, a giusto titolo, quale sia il miglior partner alberghiero che possa aiutarti a fare strada in tutte queste complessità e a trarre il meglio dal tuo investimento. Ti voglio raccontare come Accor ha costruito il suo approccio di distribuzione allo scopo di fornire soluzioni che consentono ai suoi hotel di massimizzare il loro reddito e mantenere il loro margine di profitto. Innanzitutto, esaminiamo le 5 sfide della distribuzione per un hotel. 1. Soddisfare i nuovi consumatori, quelli always connected, che paragonano costantemente le tariffe, le recensioni online e acquistano sempre più tramite il loro smartphone. 2. Aumentare la quota di mercato domestico e raggiungere nuovi clienti in Asia, Sud America e Medio Oriente. 3. Accogliere clienti per turismo e per business, di grandi multinazionali globali e società di medie dimensioni. 4. Stringere accordi con i più forti intermediari per aumentare il livello di occupazione, mantenendo l'influenza e i costi sotto stretto controllo. 5. Sviluppare una politica stagionale di prezzi rimanendo competitivi contro i competitor più aggressivi. E adesso vediamo come la piattaforma di distribuzione Accor riesce a rispondere ad ognuna di queste sfide. Il primo pilastro è la piattaforma di prenotazione TARS, dato che distribuire un hotel significa vendere le camere disponibili e le offerte costantemente in tempo reale ai clienti potenziali. TARS ha la capacità di gestire 100.000 prenotazioni al giorno. È connesso con il PMS Hotel e le sue 70 soluzioni di connettività aiutano a gestire le vendite con precisione. TARS è uno strumento potente che conduce al successo. Connesso al database di Accor, composto di 42 milioni di clienti, aiuta gli hotel a proporre le offerte giuste tramite l'eccellenza del sistema CRM. Il secondo pilastro, i 32 siti web di Accor. I siti web di Accor hanno una capacità globale. Funzionano in 16 lingue, sostenuti da call center ad alta performance e guidano il maggior traffico di siti web di hotel virtualmente in tutti i paesi. Accor possiede anche soluzioni per smartphone, che rappresentano attualmente il 12% delle vendite online, e investe fortemente nelle app per assicurarsi la preferenza degli utilizzatori di smartphone e catturare le prenotazioni tardive. Accor rinnova costantemente, offrendo check-in e check-out online, e prossimamente proporrà pagamenti contactless e app incluse negli occhiali Google e negli orologi Apple. Accor ha i propri team integrati, la cui competenza è riconosciuta da partner globali come Google, TripAdvisor e Facebook, ma anche più regionali come Baidu, Yandex o Qunar. Anno dopo anno, i team di Accor sono presenti su internet usando le più nuove tecniche di acquisto di traffico, come il retargeting e lo schermo in tempo reale. In un anno hanno acquistato 12 milioni di parole chiave, lanciato 14.000 campagne e di conseguenza spedito 600 milioni di mail mirate. Gli esperti di Accor hanno supportato gli hotel ad ottimizzare la loro presenza online, dirigere campagne specifiche e gestire la loro reputazione sui social media. Sul web, il valore di Accor risiede anche nel suo business con agenzie online globali e regionali. Accor negozia commissioni preferenziali per i suoi hotel. Allo stesso modo, fornisce soluzioni di gestione del reddito per sostenere e controllare saggiamente la loro influenza. La piattaforma di distribuzione Accor significa anche per gli hotel l'accesso a 700 sales manager in 34 paesi e tutto funziona insieme. Accor referenzia e promuove i suoi hotel con 320.000 player in tutto il mondo, incluse società, reti di agenzie di viaggio, compagnie aeree, convegni ed eventi professionali. Con 17 milioni di membri presenti in tutto il mondo, il programma Fedeltà di Accor è il programma più internazionale dell'industria. I clienti spendono 2 volte di più e ritornano anno dopo anno 2 volte più spesso dei clienti occasionali. Accor sostiene e forma gli albergatori a trarre il meglio dalla sua piattaforma, dall'installazione alla formazione iniziale, 24 ore su 24, 7 giorni su 7, in 6 lingue, gestione del reddito e strumenti tariffari. Il tutto accessibile nei servizi disponibili per gli hotel che fanno parte della rete Accor, allo scopo di rafforzare la loro performance. Essendo uno dei principali player nel management alberghiero, Accor condivide la sua esperienza sul campo, le sue soluzioni di distribuzione e l'esperienza sperimentata con successo e applicata sui propri hotel. Accor è oggi infatti uno dei principali operatori nella distribuzione alberghiera. Mica male, vero? Allora, perché non farne parte?
Hey, Jean-Luc. Thank you.
How are you?
So to pick up on your medicine
Yes.
analogy, if you take too much medicine, the long-term illness will be worse than the short-term cure. And in this case, it's using intermediaries, OTAs, and Meta is the medicine. So would you say Accor right now is taking too much medicine?
Accor as a whole, no, because right now we have roughly 35, these are public figures, so I can say that now over a third of our business is coming online, okay? Worldwide, 35% of our revenue, total revenue, is done online. Inside this 35% revenue, the majority still remains with our direct websites.
Right.
So we keep, and for me it's an important balance, is how much do we do direct and how much do we do indirect. But it's not so much as a whole, and it's not a true, not a truth which is valid everywhere. It depends. As I said, in the US, the share of business I get from the US with onliners is bigger because they are really helpful for me on these markets. There are also hotel chains or brands, because we go from very economic to deluxe hotel chains, where the balance of direct indirect is different depending the countries and depending the brand. But no, we don't take too much medicines right now. We still have room to.
Do you take enough medicine, do you think? Or you think you just have it just right?
I don't think we have, it's hard to say because it's evolving. Our network is growing, you know, we're opening one hotel every 7 days or 8 days in Asia Pacific.
How many total properties?
3,500.
3,500. So yesterday I moderated a session of meta-search companies.
Yeah.
We had Trivago, Kayak, TripAdvisor, and Skyscanner on the stage. And I asked the audience for volunteers to define meta-search. And believe it or not, they didn't want to. So I asked the meta-search people to explain to the audience what exactly is meta-search. And they said, it's every single price. And I said, but OTAs do that. And they say, no, they just get prices from suppliers. We get prices from other intermediaries. And the meta-search business is growing like crazy. So there is no price parity out there. Otherwise, they wouldn't be growing. So what gives here? I mean, it sounds good. Price parity, I think the word used is necessary. But is it possible?
Well, I think it's, first of all, we have to look at the price parity on the perspective of the hoteliers. We are in an industry where the hotel must retain the control of its price, of its rates, because it's very different from consumer products. Because distributors, they don't take any risk. They don't buy inventory. The risk is with the hoteliers. Yeah. So in order to be able to compete and to gain whatever they need to get, because they are also to invest into their properties, they have to constantly adapt to technology and renovate the hotels.
But we're trying to figure out why
what is the reality for a consumer? Is it to compare the price of a single hotel between three distributors, which are what the MetaSearch are proposing? Or is it for a consumer to look into, for the city of Florence, for instance, go into a big store, a big onliners, and compare price between hotels? And for me, the reality and the real competition is really to look at what is the prices inside the city of Florence, compare hotels against each other, compare their services, their location and their rates, and therefore do the right choice. And for me, the real MetaSearch engine should be the online agencies. Now we have new players coming in, mainly because of the airline business, and they are trying to apply the same rules for the hotels.
But for example,
and it's misleading.
Trivago is only hotels.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from a hotelier's perspective, do hoteliers need MetaSearch?
No.
No.
Right now, I have to deal with
should
that.
quote
because they're
that.
driving.
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah, you can quote me.
Yeah.
Right now, I have to deal with them because they are driving business to websites, and I need to pay to access this traffic.
Yeah.
But in reality, if I have online travel agencies, I don't need MetaSearch. TripAdvisor is a different one from Trivago because TripAdvisor is comparing hotels with customer advice.
Yeah.
And therefore, they are doing, and they have introduced a new model and a new way for consumers to access information. And therefore, and by the way, we have embraced TripAdvisor at Accor very early. We were the first hotel chain to put TripAdvisor on our website. Yeah. And we have a really good partnership. And they're really bringing value. But Trivago is bringing no value to us, except that I have to buy their traffic.
TripAdvisor recently launched instant booking.
Yep.
Mostly in the United States, but the plan is...
We are working in developing access to it for Accor.
And what do you think about... well, would you say in that case, is TripAdvisor becoming an OTA?
They say no. They say they are giving and providing a service.
I know they say no, right? But they can fulfill a transaction.
The booking will be on accorhotel.com. So for me, it's more a complement to what they are already doing, and it's part of the experience they are providing the people visiting and using them, and therefore for us it's an opportunity.
Right.
But you never know in this industry, and things change very, very quickly. So put me that right now it's an opportunity. I might have a different opinion in a year from now.
Amazon recently announced it's going to sell hotels.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
As I said, we are part of an industry which
another
interests a
pill.
lot of people.
It's a lot of pills to take.
Yeah. It's a lot of pills. It's another medicine. We'll see what it goes. It's a very expensive one, 15% commission. I think they are trying to leverage the incredible database of customers that they have.
They have a lot of customers.
We'll see how it goes.
Do you think Amazon will be successful in selling hotels, yes or no? If you had to bet.
If I had to bet, I think in the long run they will do it because they are very, very efficient and they will be a significant force. We'll see tomorrow what will be the relationship that we will have to establish with them.
Yeah, some OTAs think they won't be successful because companies like Expedia and Booking.com have hundreds and hundreds of account managers all over the world. It's very unlikely Amazon is going to do that. So
Amazon has built a big marketplace. And
Yes.
you know, an OTA is a big marketplace. So they have other techniques. And therefore, I wouldn't discard them as a player.
Yeah, we'll watch that.
I have a question for Jean-Luc. As an hotelier too, I may have hundreds of questions about your keynote.
I know.
We have seen in the past some of the bigger hotel companies going together and try projects to leverage the power of the OTAs. I mean, for example, Roomkey, which we have talked a lot about that in the past, and then it's come up as a failure. And Accor has always stayed away from that project. Do you think it's a good way to
We were approached. Roomkey was a good idea, a very bad execution.
That's it.
And I think in the coming future, ideas like Roomkey, but with different execution, could be a good way for or a good directions that the industry and the relationship between not necessarily big chains, but hoteliers could move.
And the last question from me. You were with me in a private visit to the offices of Booking.com in Amsterdam.
It was a meeting of their big partners.
It was, yeah, exactly, of the main partners on. What do you think is the real secret of Booking.com to be so strong in the world?
Well, I think Booking is strong because, first of all, they embrace very early the technology and the understanding of the dynamics of digital and web, and therefore they have an extremely good execution, and I think they are very, very efficient in what they do, and therefore that's why they are so successful with hoteliers. Now, and I didn't mention that, and I know they are coming today. First of all, we work very well with them. We're also very extremely cautious about the way we do with them, and the fact that at one point they don't necessarily simply want to bring you business, but they want to make your happiness at your expense. And the next generation is the hotel services that they are going to develop. Is this true services and true help for hotels, or a Trojan horse that they will use to capture more data and get hoteliers more hooked to them? For me, sometimes Booking is a little bit like a drug dealer. You know, they are very efficient. They boost your occupancy. It's not too expensive at the beginning, but more and more you are hooked to it. You cannot unhook yourself, and you need more of their business. And this is the danger, and I told them, by the way, so I don't have any problem in being quoted for this. But on the other hand, they are very customer-oriented, I must say. And I'm not talking simply the customer that they capture, but the hoteliers. And they are very customer-friendly more and more. They were not at the beginning. But they are extremely good in execution, extremely good. And for us, they are a model.
Jean-Luc, Marriott is conducting an experiment by turning off Google, I think, for Google spend for 1 or 2 weeks. Are you're familiar with this?
Yeah.
Has Accor done an experiment like that?
No, because, you know, no. And first of all, I cannot comment on Marriott because it's all a question of getting inside information about the way they build their web traffic. Yeah. You know, for us, Google is very important, but on the other hand, it's just a very, very minor portion of our traffic. We still get a lot of our traffic through brand and natural traffic from the brand awareness that we get. Therefore, Google, again, is a big partner,
right,
but tomorrow we don't want to be too dependent on them.
If you could decrease your spend with Google 5%, I'm sure you would love to.
Yes, but in order to do that, is for me to continue to invest behind my websites, behind my brand, and behind my customer relationship system. And definitely it's there. But right now, we are not at a stage where I can hook up. Where we are doing that kind of things is unhooking ourselves or closing our OTA channels.
Yeah. How is Hotel Tonight working for you as a channel?
Hotel Tonight is, you know, it's different from our American colleagues because Hotel Tonight is big in the States. It's much smaller in Europe. So we have a contract with them.
Let me re-ask. There are other sites that do similar things as last minute.
That's a good example of this. Yeah. That's exactly the job that hotels can do. And someone did it before and executes very well. If you go to the, sorry to advertise, but if you go to the AccorHotel.com app, the Book Tonight button exists. Yeah. You can search hotels around and get instantly the price, just like Hotel Tonight. But their app, I must say, is really, really well done. So for us, for the time being, we work with them because they can bring incremental business. Tomorrow, we clearly will have to develop the same capacities.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jean-Luc Chrétien, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Great job. Thanks. Really, thanks for coming.